Stop moving the stick. You're it up.
Yeah.
It can hardly move. It can move 1 square inch. Let it do its thing. Barely guide that sucker.
Be the assistant.
And it'll do most of the work for you. I say that and people think I'm joking. It's not a joke.
You are the assistant. Activision devs do not play their own game.
3,000 devs can't figure out how to add a reconnect feature to a AAA title, I guess. I don't know.
Because Infinity Ward doesn't tell their consumers anything.
Maybe that'll take some of the sweats away from Shoot House.
You can cope about that for sure.
Thanks for tweeting, at least. Thanks for doing more than Infinity Ward has done. They just keep tweeting about the soccer bundles in the store.
Things that are bad. We got a couple words. Why don't you kick it off, Tanner?
This is going to be a longer section than the first part you guys heard.
Change it, obviously, of course. We are absolutely live, boys and girls. Welcome to the Dropshot Call of Duty Podcast, episode number 390. My name is Casey, also known as Razinon, and today I am joined, as always, by little young buddy Tanner. How's life, Tanner?
Good. What was that thing you were doing at the start there with your hands? Were you trying to tell us to join in and say we are live? That's kind of what I thought you were doing or something.
No.
Don't do that again.
Know.
Yeah. Let's cut that out for next step. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Okay.
I probably should cut that out. When are we changing the ear cups? Speaking of things that need to change.
They're getting a little soft, so I'll probably have to order some new ones soon. They're not as hard as they once were.
What color are we going to go with next time?
Oh, I'll order something that'll piss you off more. They have bright orange, yellow, maybe. I'll find something.
Yeah. It's especially because we do a video podcast and it never matches ever anything.
Yeah, that sucks for you, man. Sorry you feel that way.
Sucks for our audience and me and you.
Okay.
And society at large. And today, besides just Tanner, we are doing a surprise ambush roundtable episode. You've been ambushed. We didn't announce it. We didn't promote it. I know you guys love roundtables. If you've been listening for a while, roundtables are always very popular episodes. And today we're doing a small one, a little tiny round table. And we are joined by two young men, extremely young men. Well, still growing, in fact, who have been playing a considerable amount of Call of Duty. These are returning faces. Some of you may recognize these names from the Discord or past episodes. First and foremost, with a window and spruces in his background, and I am a botanist, is Cope the Cum Cowboy. Woo! Cope Cowboy, how's it hanging, bud?
It's awful now that you've just said all that, but
that's interesting. That's interesting to say. Speaking of things that are awful, why are you wearing prepper gear? What? Because you look like you went to the Army surplus store and then drove directly to your home to join this broadcast. Why would you do something like that?
Just had to do it, you know.
Okay, that's interesting.
I'm a big prepping kind of guy.
I keep losing you in the spruces that are behind you because I am a botanist and you're camouflaged. But
bro's
nonetheless,
just a head sitting there. Bro's a floating head. Yeah.
Bro is a floating head. Welcome to the broadcast, Cope, and thank you for being here. And also, we are joined by our last remaining guest host for this podcast. According to Ox, this is the only good guest we have today. So shout out to Ox, I guess.
W Ox.
Ox said he absolutely hates Cope, which is very interesting.
Yeah.
Jake down. Welcome.
Ooh.
Welcome back. Maybe
that was the crowd going wild for me right there.
The crowd, yeah, well. You might be the guest we've had on the most. I'm not sure.
Probably,
but it might be you.
Yeah, I would say
Possibly.
certainly.
Yeah. So welcome aboard, Jacob, another young man. Also can't see him either because his shirt is black and so is his chair. So we have two floating heads as guests today. Now, today, we are doing a roundtable. And the reason for this is because Tanner had the idea and asked them yesterday. That's why it's a surprise. We would have talked more about this, drummed this up more, because again, Tanner and I know that you guys enjoy the roundtables. We do as well. And it's been quite a while. But the idea had not occurred to Tanner. So yesterday I messaged Cope and Jake and said, hey, would you guys like to come on for an impromptu roundtable? We can ambush our audience with a roundtable. And they both graciously agreed. Lag Show was also invited, but his wife said he's not allowed to for no reason. There's not like so Lag isn't doing anything right now, to be clear. Well, he is. He's watching this episode live, and he will be here uninterrupted for the entire episode, almost as if he could have been here. But his wife said no because he asked his wife, which is weird. So he's not here. So nonetheless, we have two of our guests here today, and that was kind of the genesis of this episode. It's been quite a while, as I said. And the goal of the roundtables generally, and this one in particular, is to kind of get some different perspectives. Tanner and I have a difference of opinion on some things, which is good. But we largely agree on a lot of things. And I think that's going to remain true with our two guests here. However, they also can offer some different perspectives. The perspectives of people who are extremely young and also have been toying with the toy, playing on controller.
Oh, yeah.
Quite a bit.
A couple toy users.
Yes. And that is a perspective, to abuse the usage of that word, that Tanner and I are just don't have. We've used very, very little controller, particularly in Warzone and Call of Duty and whatever currently. So that's what we're going to do today. And if you want to find these guys, by the way, they are streaming again. Cope, you're on twitch.tv/Cope Cowboy. Is that correct?
Sure am.
Okay. And then Jake is on YouTube now. He's been signed by YouTube Gaming at Jake Down.
No longer
is his channel name. Yeah, by the way, Jake, if you wanna stream on YouTube, I think it's in your contract that you had me review when you signed with them that you should probably stream to the correct category and not play Warzone on Modern Warfare 19 category.
Oh, it was in the wrong
That's something
category.
you might want to consider doing.
We'll get that figured out.
So talk to your team and get that sorted out.
Yeah, I'll send that to my guy.
Send that to your team. Now, with all that said, let's dive right in. I don't think we really have many announcements.
No.
I have written down, so for Cope and Jake, I've written down a couple things to just get us started. But, as always, do not feel obligated to stay on topic here. There is no topic. We're talking about Call of Duty and
Warzone. Yeah.
That's the topic. So if you want to meander, go off topic, go on a tangent, a rant, that's totally fine. But to kick things off, I figured we would hot drop this episode.
Oh, wow.
We're dropping Superstore in the podcasting world.
Okay.
With, of course, the biggest controversy in Call of Duty crossplay history. Keyboard and mouse versus controller with aim assist. That's where we're going to start. Now, I have a couple of questions or ideas or thoughts that I'll share, and then I want to get your guys' thoughts on what I'm saying here. Because for some background, again, Tanner and I do not play on controller. We have never played Warzone on controller. I've played a little bit of like MW2 multiplayer on controller, but that's it.
Yeah, I played multiplayer.
Cope and Jake, however, have played both controller and keyboard and mouse in Warzone post-integration. So very recently. So if anyone is an authority on controller versus keyboard and mouse, it would be these two. Because we could have people on like Lag. I'm glad he said no. I'm glad his wife said no, excuse me. His balls are in a vice. We could have people on like Lag who only play Warzone on controller. And that is an interesting perspective, but that's not the best person to ask about how effective controller is versus keyboard and mouse. You want someone who has both kind of views on that, and you two do. That was one of the reasons I was excited to do this episode. So first question I have, I guess, is you guys played this morning. Were you playing on controller or keyboard and mouse this morning?
Both
The
controller.
toy. Yep.
You were both on the toy. You were both on controller. Okay, interesting.
Have you guys been swapping like daily, or how does that usually work? Because some of those clips I think you just posted like yesterday, right, Jake? They were on K-Bam.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I go back and forth, but I've been mainly controller for like the past week and a half.
Okay.
Jake is not allowed to queue on
Yeah,
keyboard and mouse
we
anymore.
made that
It's
a rule the other day because Cope usually hosts the matches. I said, you cannot, if you see me on mouse and keyboard, you cannot queue it. You have to force me to play controller.
Oh, wow,
Interesting.
okay.
So that's what we've been doing lately.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think I'd see where this is going, but to be clear, I mean, you played mostly on keyboard and mouse up until very recently, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Why is that?
You fuckos. Oh, there goes the monetization.
No, there
it's-
it goes.
it's fine.
All
There
right.
it
Yeah,
goes.
we're gone.
2 minutes in.
I'll talk to your team about invoicing you for that infraction.
I got a couple nickels laying around here somewhere.
So you said because of us. So that wasn't the question I asked, but that's fine. I like where you're going. So you originally, when you started listening to the podcast, so for those of you listening, Jake has been listening to this podcast for a very long time, and he's been in the Discord in the community for a very long time. And when he started listening during 2020, MW 2019's tenure, he was a controller only gamer on console as well, right?
Yeah, on Xbox One.
Hilarious.
Don't say hilarious, man.
So then
There's a lot of console
Tanner and
players
I,
listening. Come on.
well, anyway, 60 hertz, no field of view slider, by the way.
Back then, yeah.
Back then, yeah. So yeah, he was playing on controller, he was playing on console, and I guess he switched to keyboard and mouse because Tanner and I talked about how fun it is. And originally, when you had switched, if I recall correctly, your KD actually went up in Warzone 1, the Verdansk days, when you got off controller and went to keyboard and mouse. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what the correlation was. I think I was just playing a lot more in general and wanted to get better, but
Hmm.
At
Yeah.
the time, that actually could have been too. PCs were a lot better than consoles at that point.
Yeah, I guess
Especially
you
in
did also
Warzone.
switch to PC as well.
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
But
I was like
recently,
a 2.5 KD on Xbox before I switched, and then it never really went down once I switched to PC and went to keyboard and mouse. It
yeah,
just kept going up.
okay. But now you've recently switched to PC and controller. And what was the reason you did that?
I don't know. I just felt like I was like hitting a plateau. Like I couldn't get better unless I spend 7 hours a day aim tracking or aim training on Kovacs or something. And I
Yeah,
was like, oh, let me plug it back in and see how I do.
yeah.
And it went pretty well.
It went pretty well, huh?
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, yeah. So you would say your KD's gone up since playing on controller.
Yeah. It definitely hasn't gone down. It's gone slightly up, I'd say.
Okay.
Did
I
you
would
guys
look at
start
the stats,
doing
but They
it?
don't work.
Did you guys start doing it just in Resurgence, and then eventually you started doing Big Map? Is that what you guys kind of did? Is like warm up
Yeah,
and Resurgence
pretty
with
much.
it?
Getting a lot of gunfights, just run
Yeah.
around, fight as many people as we could.
Yeah. So unlike Jake, Cope has also recently started using controller, but if I understand correctly, Cope did not ever really play a bunch of Warzone on controller. He's really pretty new to controller still. Is that correct, Cope?
Yeah. I played when I started Warzone. I was on controller for like a month, and I was awful. But I also didn't game for like probably 10 years before that, so it
Yeah.
was like starting fresh.
Right.
And then, like Jake, I was listening to the pod and switched to keyboard and mouse. And
Sorry for that.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
I mean, I was way better once I learned keyboard and mouse, obviously, but now it's just like, yeah, you just can't beat aim assist.
Yeah, so you went to controller recently as well, and how has that been going?
Not as well as Jake because he had so much more experience before.
Right.
And like obviously he's just better in general, so there's that.
Younger. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean it's pretty good, man. It's pretty good.
It's
Pretty good. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would like to ask first, I guess, is aim assist too strong in your guys' view?
Yeah. Yeah. Way too
It is.
strong.
Way too strong. So a
Way
lot
too strong.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. What about you, Cope? What do you think?
Yeah, it goes bonkers for sure.
Okay. Right. If you had to change aim assist, because I think we all agree controller does need some aim assist, especially if we're playing cross-platform. Without any aim assist, there would be no reason to play on a controller. So we all agree it needs some, but right now it's too strong. What is too strong about it? What would you change to level the playing field a bit more to make it balanced?
It needs to not have instant reaction time to where I don't even input anything and it's aiming for me. A guy runs right past me and it completely pulls to the guy when I didn't even register that there was a guy there yet.
Okay.
That needs to be nerfed for sure.
Okay.
It's not you doing anything. It's literally playing for you. It's aiming for you. You're the assistants. I've said this before. You are the assistants. You
Right.
get it somewhere close and it takes over. It says, "All right, back up. We got it.
Yeah.
No more
Just keep
input. We
that
got it
trigger
from here.
pulled.
Just pull that trigger down." Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. What do you think, Cope?
Yeah, I think just like the rotation, even if they just nerfed like rotational aim assist, would be pretty big.
Yeah.
Like, especially in like obviously everyone knows, but like the up close gunfights, like it's just insane. Like Jake said, and everyone's seen the clips, but like last week we were playing pregame lobby, I was just floating and not touching my controller at all, just staring at my screen, and some guy dives straight in front of me, and my character's head just goes stares straight at him, right to the ground. And I've seen those clips before, and I'm like, oh, that's crazy. But until it happens on your own screen, it's wild.
Yeah. That's
a clip J God posted in Warzone 1 where he shows him holding it, not pressing anything. The guy jumps down and it just pulls down. And then everyone in the comments is like, well, mine doesn't do that. So how do you do that? I don't know. You're literally just telling us how incapable of doing the bare minimum you are. I don't know. Try plugging in the controller. I'm not sure. Do something though. I just don't get how people struggle figuring things like that out when it's so obvious that that's working for people who are not cheating, you know?
Yeah, it's just aim assist. It's whether you know how to use it or not is another thing, but it's the same for everybody.
Yeah.
There's no extra aim assist, no secret setting. Now maybe you have yours off or some version like precision. I know aim assist is not good. Like you just want standard, just leave it on standard and you're the assistants. It'll do a lot of the work for you.
Yeah. Yeah. How does aim assist work at like medium and long range? That's a question I've had recently because to anyone paying attention and who is honest with themselves, it's pretty obvious when you watch a clip of an up close gunfight or a kill cam, God forbid, and you see the aim assist, like pixel perfect tracking directly on the sternum, doesn't move, instantly starts tracking as soon as you're moving, and doesn't stop tracking ever. It's really obvious to see what aim assist is doing and how effective it is inside of like 10 meters. But how does it work at medium range or even long range? Do you get any aim assist? Do you get some? Is it still pretty strong? Not that strong? What's the deal there? What's going on there?
I think like longer ranges, it feels way more reasonable. It feels like how it should be. It feels a lot more on par with keyboard and mouse. Because it definitely like if you see a guy like 100 meters away and you swing your reticle past him, you'll definitely feel it slow down. But it's not. It's
Okay.
obviously not as sticky if his hitbox is closer to you and way bigger on your screen.
Yeah.
It's like it's there. It's you can definitely feel it, but it's not nearly as egregious as up close. It feels way more on par with keyboard and mouse at longer range, in my opinion, at
Okay.
least.
Okay. Yeah.
I know when I first switched to keyboard and mouse, I said I don't really notice or like I don't miss aim assist. Playing now that I've played this game on controller again, it feels so much more noticeable. Like especially at long range, like I feel like I didn't know either I didn't know how to use it or it wasn't like as strong before. But like at long range, I feel like I just feel
Interesting.
it way more. It's like I can tell like you can tell when a guy's head glitching, like, and you can hardly even see his head. You just swing your reticle by him and you go, oh, there's a guy right there. I didn't even see him.
Yeah.
Now, whether you can hit all those shots is a different thing. It's not that easy, but like just finding people and knowing where people are, you can just feel it, feel where it slows down and pulls to. It's very interesting.
Yeah, you get a lot of intel that way, don't you? When you get it through walls and stuff. Like I think it was who just posted that clip? FIFA, I think,
yeah.
of like him getting full on drag through some full wall. That's been happening since Warzone 1. Yeah. So it's like there's a guy behind this wall because I'm getting aim slowdown.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 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 Outside. Okay. So, yeah, I think that the aim assist question's kind of settled there. I don't really have much else to say on that. And again, this is what talking about aim assist with people who know what they're talking about and are reasonable looks like, by the way, and sounds like, I should say, to those of you listening. Because some of you, I'm sure, are annoyed that Tanner and I are constantly complaining about aim assist and saying, oh, it's too strong, blah, blah, blah. And you say, oh, you're just two keyboard and mouse players who are mauled, you died in the gulag to someone on a controller or whatever. That is absolutely not what's going on. It's just the case that aim assist is very powerful, and we're talking about it. So now that you've heard two people who play both say the exact same thing, maybe you'll give it more credence. If you still don't, then you just don't believe any of us, or you think we're all dumb, and rather, you should go try it yourself. Play on keyboard and mouse, or turn aim assist off for a day and see how you do. It'll be extremely noticeable. Not having it is the point. And again, that was not a long conversation we just had because it's so obvious. When there's no disagreement, it's just like, okay, yeah, these are just the facts. Now, with all of that said, outside of aim assist, have you noticed any other benefits of playing on controller that keyboard and mouse doesn't have? So, like, for example, another thing I can think of is you can buy teammates back way faster on controller. That's not an aim assist benefit. That's just a benefit of the input. Are there any other things like that exist that maybe don't get talked about that much because the conversation is just dominated by aim assist discourse?
Well, in this game, you can lay down and res on controller, no problem.
Does it work every time?
every
Yep.
single
Oh,
time.
so-
Never had an
Oh.
issue with it.
So
ever.
lag
That's why
wasn't
it's
capped.
not been
So it'll
patched.
never.
That's
it'll never
why
get
no one
fixed,
talks about it. Yeah, that
Yep.
explains it fully. Okay, classic. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's
And
why
getting
I've
through
never seen
Windows.
anyone mention it besides people in our Discord. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Never
Got it.
once had an issue. I just simply lay down.
Yeah.
As the guy, don't have to sit there and let me hold backwards. Oh, I'm getting sniped at. Let me try and I died because I couldn't lay down trying to hit the right button in the correct order.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just insane.
So for those
One more
of you
thing on
listening
aim
who
assist.
are
Someone in
Sorry.
chat said the aim assist hip fire. That is so busted. Now that I've gone back to controller and played it again, one more thing on aim assist. The hip fire is so much better on controller. It's insane.
I'm glad you brought that
I don't
up,
know.
yeah.
I don't know what it is. If it's like the bullet magnetism, it just feels like every single shot hits. Whereas on keyboard and mouse, my reticle can be in the exact same spot around the guy, and 50% less bullets will hit. I don't know what it is. It's crazy though.
Yeah, I remember
Super
you saying this a
noticeable.
long time ago. And
Yeah.
I was like, that's weird. But then you've posted clips, and especially recently you've been posting clips, and I'm like, yeah, that's
I don't know what it is.
My
Something's
hip
there.
fire is not that good
Yeah.
on keyboard and mouse. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it does make you wonder, is it because your reticle is so pixel perfect always that you just are going to land more hip fire shots because the aim's actually better? Or is it something else? That's an interesting question.
I haven't been able to figure out what it is. It just, man, does it hit. It's crazy. It doesn't matter what gun you have. You can run around with a ground loot marksman rifle, and if some guy's right in front of you, you'll hit fire and hit every shot. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's another little nice benefit. Yeah. By the way, for those of you who are confused about the prone while rezzing thing, it's because you play on controller and this isn't an issue for you, I guess. But on keyboard and mouse, you cannot lay prone and res at the same time. Your character will, if you prone and then press the res button, you will stand into a crouch. You just can't be prone and res.
Yeah.
I would say I'm not kidding, 1 out of 50 times, I will remain prone while rezzing on keyboard and mouse.
There's some way you can do it. It's a little more common than that, but I can't figure out what it is, but
Not for
sometimes
me.
I'll just press it and it'll work. I would say it's like 1 out of 10 times it works, but then I don't know exactly how, and I think I know how it's working, and then I try that the next time and it just doesn't. It's like, it kind of feels like right when you press the res button, you have to immediately press and hold down your prone button, and that will keep you prone. That works the
like
most.
you're looting an airdrop in Tarkov or something.
Basically, yeah, you have to like do it at the same time, yeah.
Interesting.
So that's super
Yeah.
fun with one-shot snipers when you're on a rooftop and you are forced into a crouch position. I can't tell you how many times we've died and probably gotten squad wiped because of that, because I can't prone
yeah.
while rezzing. Just lose
I
games
guarantee
because
you
of it.
we've lost games we would have won if that bug didn't exist.
Yeah.
And it only applies to keyboard and mouse, which is why it has not been fixed yet, unironically, because most people play on controller. Okay. So again, yeah, and are there any other strengths of playing on controller besides like the aim assist thing? We've listed a couple already. I think Cope, you mentioned jumping through windows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jumping through windows is a lot easier. I don't know
Really?
what it is, but like
Way easier.
Weird.
it just feels like on keyboard and mouse, if you're like running beside the building and try and jump in, you jump past it and then you go past it the other way. Controller, it feels like you just press jump and it sucks you through the window.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
bros
It's
got
so crazy.
bros have aim assists on their jump too. No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
something
again,
about like the whole mantling in general, it just feels like if I'm trying to mantle up like several things in a row to get to a roof, it feels so much faster on controller. Now that might be a setting I have wrong on keyboard and mouse, but like if I'm trying to mantle up like a box and then onto the roof and then to the next roof, I feel like I can just boop boop boop, I'm instantly up there. Whereas on keyboard and mouse, sometimes you'll like sit there and jump in front of the ledge before you can grab it.
Yeah.
That never happens on controller.
What
Yeah.
about just like the movement in general? Because that's what so many controller players always say is that, well, K-Bam has way better and easier movement. Do you think that's true?
I wouldn't say
I mean,
necessarily.
Yeah, maybe at the top, like the ultimate highest level of keyboard and mouse, like the super ultra demons who can spin around and like juke people out like that. I don't think it's really hard to replicate that on controller, but
Yeah.
in general, I think it's pretty on par. Doesn't feel that
Yeah,
much
because I
harder
mean,
to do anything
all the kids that are known as having the best movement, they're always on controller. I mean, like, obviously the majority of the player base is, so it could just be because of that. But it's like, I've never seen a K-Band player once being like called like a movement demon, to be honest. Like, they're mostly always controller kids too. So I don't understand that. I feel like people just use that argument without knowing anything. But yeah, I wouldn't know.
I don't know why movement would be easier on keyboard and mouse. I can only move.
Because you have more buttons, duh. That's what they always say.
Yeah, I mean, you have a joystick, so you could do like 360-degree strafing without having to change where you're aiming.
By doing
which
that.
Literally isn't possible on keyboard and mouse. We only have 4 buttons. So if we wanted to strafe at like a 45-degree, well, we could do 45 by holding W and A, but if we wanted to strafe at a 40-degree angle, we couldn't do it. It's not possible. Unless we move our reticle. Well, moving your reticle means it's not a strafe anymore. So like, it's not possible. So yeah, I don't understand that at all.
Yeah, I've always figured it'd be the opposite.
Exactly. I don't understand that. One thing I will say though, which is a movement advantage of keyboard and mouse, I think this is a genuine advantage that should be rectified, by the way. I am in favor of changing this, but as it stands on controller, even if you have a scuff with 100 paddles on it, the game does not allow you to set a separate bind for dive, which you can do on keyboard and mouse. So in my case, for example, one of my side mouse buttons is slide, and then a separate button is dive. On controller, you can't do that. So if you ever want to dolphin dive on controller, you have to hold B and then wait for that like probably 500 millisecond delay before the input gets read by the game while it decides if you're trying to crouch or not, or slide or not. And then you dive. So you literally can't instant dive on controller. Whereas I can be running, and on a moment's notice, I could press my dive button, boom, I'll dive right away, which is really handy, actually. You can still dive on controller, but you can't do it instantly with a paddle press or a button press. You can slide instantly, which is the more important thing, but you can't dive instantly. I can do both on keyboard and mouse, which is really nice. And what Call of Duty should do, by the way, in the controller settings, is have an option, especially with how common controllers with paddles are these days. Most people using controller have a button for it. Let controllers have a dedicated dive button or paddle. It doesn't seem difficult to do. I don't know why the game doesn't allow you to do it, but that's like one advantage of keyboard and mouse. Another one I would say is probably sniping. So here's a question I have, because I always say this on the podcast. Controller with aim assist has a bunch of advantages versus keyboard and mouse, but keyboard and mouse has some advantages too. I think the biggest one, and correct me if I'm wrong, is sniping. If I want to snipe, I feel like I would want, especially because aim assist doesn't help you that much there, because aim assist gets your reticle on someone's chest, but it doesn't get you a headshot, and that's really all you're going for when you're sniping. So intuitively, it seems to me, if I'm sniping and I'm equally skilled on both inputs, I would way rather be on keyboard and mouse so that I can more precisely aim at the head specifically. Is that true, or am I wrong on that?
No, that's
Would
true.
you rather snipe on keyboard and mouse?
I won't pick up a sniper on controller. I will not.
Yeah, it would be very difficult.
I'll try and shoot a guy with the Core 45 from 50 meters away before I pick up a sniper. I'm also still learning controller, and I'm not that great yet. So if I don't get aim assist, I'm awful.
Yeah,
I can't even look. I can't even look at the guy.
Right.
I'm bad. So I won't even try. But yeah, of course I'd want to be on keyboard and mouse sniping. In my opinion, it's not even close. Like impressive or good snipers on controller is actually like pretty impressive because they're actually like doing more work aiming, which is how it should be.
So I think a really good sniper probably on controller is more impressive than a really good KVAM sniper, actually. Because that I can imagine how difficult
that would be really hard.
That would be very difficult, hitting very long range shots with no aim assist like that.
I mean, the couple of times I've tried it on controller, I look at the guy and I'd swipe over him 10 times and I'm like, okay, I'm done.
What has your experience been, Jake, sniping on controller? If you have any.
I don't know. It's hard to say because when I first switched from controller to keyboard and mouse, sniping was the hardest part for me. It felt like
really.
And Chris, I think, was saying this someone was saying this the other day. It was either Chris or T-Hype saying that like it almost feels like if you're sniping on controller, it gives you a little extra margin of error. Where like if you don't, I think I said this 3 years ago when I switched. Feels like sniping on controller, you can almost miss by a little bit, and it'll still give you the kill. Whereas on keyboard and mouse, you have to hit their pixel. And I still feel that because I've sniped a little bit in the past couple weeks, and I think if I had been playing controller the whole time, I mean, I'd be able to hit snipes all the time, no problem. Like,
interesting.
I mean, that's not everybody, obviously, but like, I don't know. It almost feels like there's just a little extra like grace they give you, like where you don't actually hit them on your screen, but you still get the kill.
It's like a bigger head.
I could be
box,
completely
basically.
wrong. Yeah, it's something there feels weird with that, and I remember saying that a long time ago too when I switched. I was like, I almost feel like I can miss and still hit them, whereas on keyboard and mouse, I have to be so precise.
Yeah,
but that might just be me. I don't know. I mean, in general, if you ask me right now, I obviously feel way more comfortable sniping on keyboard and mouse, but I don't know. I don't think it's as big of a difference as some people would say. It just depends on how long. Like Cope hasn't played controller for that long, so it's gonna feel a lot harder and less comfortable for him. But I don't know. It's not that big of a difference, I don't think.
Okay, that's good to know. That's interesting. Yeah. And
something else about the dive. I'll see a lot of people saying that about the dive. I see that like J God's comments are filled with that. Like, oh, I wish I could turn dive off. I don't know how you'd play this game without diving. So many times you need to dive to get to the next roof. I use it all the time. Every match, like almost every other gunfight. Like,
and you can't say no need to dive on controller, right?
It's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot. You have to get like a running start and
it's like
start diving like a second before you want to.
If I'm not mistaken, Raven or Sledgehammer, one of them said they're working on a dedicated. I saw that. So we'll get that at some point. It may not be till season 2 or something, but that is going to be coming soon because they did confirm.
That's good. They should do that. That is an unfair advantage keyboard and mouse has. That they shouldn't have.
Well, I see a lot of people saying like I don't even need dive, which is great. Like that seems crazy to me. Like,
yeah, that does.
How are you going to get to that roof? You're going to have to just climb up the ladder and be easy kill when you could just dive and mantle onto the roof.
Especially how a lot of the roofs going from one to another you can't get to unless you dive. Yeah, like diving is useless most of the time in gunfights, and it's just going to end up getting you killed. But for things like that, that's where it really comes in handy.
For traversing the map is absolutely necessary, especially on this map with how many buildings and rooftop to rooftop fighting there is.
Yeah,
I'm always
and you
diving.
can just float longer off of a dive.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
I just find it interesting. I've seen a lot of people say that, and I just find it super interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. We got a question from chat here that we will ask Cope and Jake. This is from Rye Guy, change it, and Super Chat. Do you guys adjust the controller dead zone, or I'll edit it out of the podcast, so you have a bit of stick drift to aid your aim assist? This was a joke that me or Tanner made recently. I think it was Tanner, where he was like, you should break your controller so that you have bad stick drift so that you're always getting rotational aim assist. And I laughed.
No, there's people that actually do that. Yeah. That is not a joke. Yeah. That is a real thing.
I didn't know this was a thing. Do either of you do this?
I haven't touched.
Give yourself stick drift?
I haven't even looked at my dead zones since I plugged in the controller.
It's just plug and play, huh? Plug and play and drop 37 kills back to back?
look at this. I'm gonna do this as an example.
Okay,
This is how
all
far
right.
you can move the stick. That's about 1 square inch. If
Okay.
you're missing shots, stop moving the stick. You're fucking it up.
Yeah.
It can hardly move. It can move 1 square inch. Let it do its thing. Barely guide that sucker,
Be the
and it will
assistance.
do. It'll do most of the work for you. I say that, and people think I'm joking. It's not a joke.
You are the assistant.
There's so much less room for error. There's so
That's
much more room for
yes.
error. Like they make it so hard to screw up. It can barely move. I have
Yeah.
a 18 square inch mouse pad here, and I have to be pixel perfect.
Yes. With somebody
That's the
moving back and
difference.
forth, having to react in time and also track that. That's yeah, that's what people always say. It's like, well, like you have your whole arm, you have, you can move faster, you have more ability to aim somewhere quicker, but it's like, dude, do you not understand that also means I have an infinite amount of chances to mess up and miss?
To screw it
Like,
up.
how do you not, like,
Exactly.
do you realize how hard that is? And that's what we said in our latest TikToks. I'm like, I just want controller players to understand that tracking and stuff like that on KBAM is not good. I mean, it's not good. It's not easy. It's
Easy.
not at all easy to do. Like that one girl Lula, she just posted this clip of like a nasty little flick, and like people were like quote tweeting it and saying things like, yeah, but everyone bitches about aim assist. The clip that she posted, it was a 20-second clip. I've been playing on keyboard and mouse for 18 years. I can't do that. I'm not that good. And she's able to do it. That's the difference. Like, you can't, there's such a wide skill gap that I can't do that. And I've probably been on KBAM 4 times as long as she has been. But she's still better than me at the game. That's not easy to do at all. So many of these things, tracking, flicking, so difficult to do.
Mm-hmm.
And
Me and Jake
I
had
wish
this
people
has to
could
be
understand
perfect.
that. Yeah.
You can't. It's just there's such a small margin for error on keyboard and mouse. If you don't
Yeah.
hit them, you don't hit them. Whereas on
Yep.
controller, it's move it literally a half a millimeter, and you're on the guy's chest.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Me and Jake had this conversation when we both started playing, because I was dead and I was spectating him, and I was like, I don't understand how you are like aiming that good. And he's like, you're probably over aiming with your like right stick. And I was like, interesting, because I don't have that much experience on controller, a lot less than Jake. And I was like, okay, that's interesting. And then he's like, also, are you constantly like moving your left stick for rotational aim assist? And I was like, no. So I consciously started doing both of those things, and my world changed.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
quit because I would start shooting. There'd be a guy flying. I'd start shooting him, and I'd be like, I'm not hitting him. So I would literally back the stick off. Like if I'm aiming right, I would have it slammed against the right side of the controller. And I was like, oh,
Okay.
interesting. So think of it as going like from center to like the wall. If I was at the wall and I backed it off to say like half. And then
Right.
it's just like you get, like Jake said, you get on the guy. And if you can just hold it like halfway roughly, you just like, you can't miss. Now it's still harder, like easier said than done kind of thing. Cause you do have to learn that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
But it does a lot of the work for you.
It does a lot. You just have to get close.
Especially like if someone's flying in, you can just like, okay, so someone's flying in, you aim at them, your rotational helps you guide along, so you just have to barely adjust the right stick to stay slightly ahead of them to lead them. It's like,
Yeah.
they make it so hard to not hit shots. It's crazy.
Yeah. So it sounds like the skill. So on keyboard and mouse, if I want to get better at shooting someone out of the air who's like diving onto the map, I need to just practice aiming and tracking and my accuracy and consistency to get better. On controller, though, it sounds like the skill that you want to foster and develop is not aiming on a controller. It is learning how aim assist works to maximize it so that you can consistently engage your aim assist rather than consistently aim well. Is that a
Correct.
fair summary?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
again, you're the assistants.
Yeah.
Right.
And kind of going back to what I was saying before, I was watching Jowo, and on his stream, he's got a little like controller
Little hand.
Yeah.
like overlay.
I like those.
And
That
it
disgusts
shows
me, by
you-
the way. It
it shows
disgusts
you
me that they
every
do. It's an
input.
insult.
Yeah,
But anyways.
it shows you every input. And like I was asking Jake,
Oh,
I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Oh, are you?" Or he said, "Are you always like moving your left stick to like engage rotational, right? Because if you're strafing and stuff, that rotational will keep you on target." And I was watching Jowo because he's got that overlay, and that guy, when you watch his input of the sticks, it's like up and to the left, down and to the right. Like he's always moving that stick when he's
The
fighting
left
someone.
stick.
The left stick.
And when you're just watching, left stick. And when you're just watching, if you didn't have that, you might not be able to tell because, like, the strafing, like, you can't always tell he's strafing when he's doing that. But when you see the input, you can tell he's actually strafing. And, I mean, Joe was good at the game. He hardly misses a bullet.
Right.
So it's just another thing if you're struggling on controller to, like, do.
Yeah, never stand still.
Never.
If
Because
you're
then
fighting someone, ever.
Yeah, because then you're not really engaging the rotational as much as you could be, and then that forces you to actually aim more with your right stick, which is
Cringe.
not as cringe and not as good.
And doesn't it
Yeah.
even work? I'm pretty sure I've seen people say this. Like, if you're standing against a wall, the wall is to your right. If you press your left stick to the right, so you're like walking towards the wall, but your character's not actually moving because you're up against a wall, that's still giving you rotational aim assist because your left
Yeah, 'cause
analog
you're
stick is
still
moving, right?
inputting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. That is exactly what separates really bad controller players from better controller players. Like, obviously, there's still going to be a skill gap in your reaction time. There's still a skill gap in aiming and all of that, but that is what good controller players do that bad players definitely don't do, is they simply don't move their character enough, right, to get that rotational aim assist, which is why they always say, mine doesn't work that way. Well, yeah, you sit in a corner and you only have your right hand on your controller. Of course you're not going to get that level of aim assist. You have to be moving. That's where it's even better. You have to be moving. It doesn't even work better if they're moving too. So, like, because it's probably harder for you to hit a target standing still than some guy strafing back and forth at 10 meters, right? Isn't it almost easier to hit those shots?
You won't miss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, ever since we started playing, like, big map on controller, and obviously, like I said, I'm not that great yet, but, like, I don't even shoot at people that are, like, 100 and, like, if they're over 100 meters away, I don't even try.
Yeah. That
But,
makes
like,
sense.
if you give me 70 meters in, see ya.
It's
Yeah.
pretty hard to miss, yeah.
If you like, if there's a guy no cover or like even like half cover, and like you get aim assist on him and you're strafing and shooting, GG's.
Yeah. So some people in chat are a little confused about what aim assist versus rotational aim assist means. Rotational aim assist basically is aim assist plus. It's extra strong
Pro-tuned
aim
aim
assist.
Premium, yeah.
It's premium aim assist, yes. And the reason the game has it is, so if you're not moving and you're shooting at someone who's also not moving, your aim assist is not as strong because it doesn't need to be, because you have less you need to compensate for. If you're moving, then the game's aim assist system says, okay, if you're moving but you're shooting at someone stationary, that means it's going to be a lot harder to aim without aim assist. So we're going to make the aim assist a little stronger to compensate for the fact that you are moving. If you and your target are both moving, then it's rotational, then it's aim assist double plus, where it says, okay, you're moving and the target's moving. This is really hard to hit these shots without aim assist. So we're going to give you aim assist plus plus, also known as rotational aim assist. And the problem is, people who don't know how this works will try to stand still while they're shooting at someone. And yeah, if you didn't have any aim assist at all, it would be easier to hit shots if you weren't moving. But you do have aim assist, so you need to move to engage your aim assist plus. And if they're moving, ideally aim assist plus plus, because even though it's more difficult to aim when you're both moving, the level of help you get from the aim assist system in this game is so strong that it not only compensates for the added difficulty, it overcompensates. And that's why, like Cope was talking about earlier, really good controller players in gunfights are always moving their character because they want maximum aim assist possible, which is rotational aim assist. So they're getting aim assist plus in every gunfight, at least. If not plus plus, because the other guy's usually moving too. That's what you want. That's what rotational aim assist is. And that is the big problem that keyboard and mouse has with aim assist in general, is that rotational is too strong. It's too good. It overcompensates. That's the problem.
Yep.
So
you also get aim assist through water, I found out.
that's really cool.
A lot of aim assist
Nice.
through water.
So you can't
I've
see
killed
the
so many
person, but
people,
you can
But
still,
my aim does.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Boy, does
That
my
thing
controller
sees
see 'em.
players, yeah.
It's crazy. Even today, I got like 4 downs on this team in water, and I couldn't hardly. They were like over 100 meters away. I was on top of Old Town. They were swimming outside of Cargo. Can't even see them, but my controller does. They're all down, dead. See ya.
Show me how
Back
to
to
set
lobby.
mine up like that.
It is no
Crazy.
exaggeration when I tell you I have downed 2 people in water in Warzone since the integration, and I've played hours.
You played a
Hours
few
of Warzone. Hours. I've downed 2 people in water. It's
Skill
impossible.
issue.
It's an issue. Actually, it's an issue. It's an input issue actually. So, anyways,
It feels like the hipfire thing where like you could be aiming at the same spot on keyboard and mouse and you wouldn't hit them. Like it, I don't know.
Yeah.
It feels like almost like some sort of bullet magnetism or something. I don't know. It's very weird. It's
Yeah, that
great
is
though.
weird.
I mean, I've been loving it.
yeah,
Go in the
I
water.
bet.
I don't care.
Yeah, right. Any other thoughts on K-BAM versus controller?
Buff aim assist. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Mine
And-
doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
By the
Screw you
way,
guys
in
for
case
ever
you-
making me want to go keyboard and mouse. I would be 3-time World Series of Warzone champion. You
You-
guys would
yeah.
be doing so much better because you'd have a 3-time World Series of
True.
Warzone champion
Yeah.
guest.
Yeah.
So it's really your guys' fault.
You should have taken Wag's spot in the World Series of Warzone, actually, had
Yeah,
you stayed
I
on
coulda got
He
controller.
would have done a lot
kills,
better.
Would have gotten
Yeah.
at least a down in the whole tournament, yeah.
Mhm.
Magnificent known cheater. Anyways. Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, we will keep that in mind. But what was I gonna say? Yeah, for everyone listening, by the way, the controller settings you should use are, it's basically plug and play. Don't get crazy. Don't change your response curve. Don't change your aim assist type. Have default and default as all your aim assist settings. That's the best and strongest.
Is that what
That's
you guys
correct.
run?
Right?
Standard aim assist. I run dynamic aim response curve, but I don't.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it's as like. I don't
Yeah.
think that's gonna make or break it for you. You can try it. Try standard. Try dynamic. Some people like linear. I've never tried it, but I don't think it's a huge.
The important thing is to have aim assist on and on the default aim
The
assist
default
type.
standard. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So again, if you're listening and you say my aim assist doesn't work like that, everything you guys are describing is foreign to me. You got to start moving that little left thumb, buddy, listener. You
Mhm.
got to start moving the left thumb and move your right thumb less.
Less.
You need to
it
move your
sounds-
left thumb more and your right thumb less. Get in the
Sounds
vicinity.
Assistance.
You are the assistants. Let the aim assist do the work. Move your left
Mhm.
stick very, very gently. You don't even aim, you guide. You
Exactly.
gently
Literally.
guide. You point. It's like having it's like you're a canine officer, right? You don't tell the dog where to bite, what angle to take to rush the perpetrator, how long to hold them down for. All you do is you have the dog on the leash, and then you say, you point at the guy, right? You face the dog in the general direction of the guy, and then you say, go, Sparky, maul him. And then it does the rest. You need to be the canine officer on controller. You gently guide in the direction of the perpetrator, and then you say, go, sick 'em. You let aim assist take over. That's all you got to do. Yeah. So.
Yeah, and as you get better with it, you'll feel it where, like, if someone's running away from you, you can feel like, oh, it's pulling here. All right, I just got to keep it on this path, and it just does the rest. Like, as you play, you'll start to kind of get to know when you'll feel it, and you'll be like, okay, this guy's dead. Like today earlier, Cope got surprised by these two guys. I shot one bullet at a guy, I said, got him. There was another one. Before I even I knew he was dead because I could just feel it. I snapped to him. I said, he's down too. And I still had to shoot him 8 more times.
Yeah.
I could just tell he was going to die.
His fate was sealed.
It just, the assistants got him.
Yeah. 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 So, just last point on this. If you're playing on controller listening, you're saying, you guys are making aim assist sound way stronger than my experience. I think you are just malding and seething. Again, Cope and Jake have played a considerable amount of keyboard and mouse and controller, in Jake's case. These are just the facts. So if you think your aim assist does not work this way, I suspect the biggest problem is you're not moving your left stick enough to engage rotational, also known as aim assist plus. So if your aim assist does not work this way, make sure it's on, and then start moving your left stick. In every single time you pull the trigger, your left stick should also be moving, and then your aim assist will work this way. And you're welcome. And donate to us, thedropshot.com. Go to donate. $20 United States dollars or more for raising your KD by 1.0 minimum.
Yeah.
So there you go. Moving off of the input issue.
Warzone.
Let's talk about some other things relating to Warzone. I think this is a good place to start. The map. How are we liking Urzikstan as a Warzone map? We've had a lot of time to play it by now. We can compare it to Al Mazrah. We can compare it to Caldera. We could even compare it to Verdansk. Where does it stand? How well does it play? Is it too big? Is it too small? Is there too much water? Is there not enough water? If you say that, I'll kick you off. What are our general thoughts on the map?
It's fine. I feel pretty meh about it.
Meh.
It's not terrible. I don't know. It's nothing super spectacular.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It's fine. I don't hate it. Don't love it. I don't really know why, as far as to why I feel like that. I don't know. It just feels...
It's a map.
Yeah. Honestly, I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that it doesn't feel like a BR. It just feels like a giant resurgence map.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's really hard to say when, like, in Verdansk, you could really position and, like, predict where, like, if you pop a UAV, you say, okay, there's teams here, there's teams here. We should get here. People are going to push to us this way and this way. This map, you can pop a UAV, there'll be nobody on it, and then 2 seconds later, there's a full team landing on you. It's like, where'd they come from? I don't know. No idea. Just feels kind of a lot more random. So it's hard to say.
Yeah, that makes sense. What about you, Cope?
I feel pretty much the same way. I mean, it's a map. If it had no water, it would be super cool.
Yeah, that would be great.
The water is just awful and annoying and dumb, but they're never going to get rid of it. So, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just feels like a map. to me, honestly. I didn't really play too much Moz, so I can't compare it. Like, I mean, this game's been out, what, 3 weeks? A month? Something like that?
Yeah, something like that. 6
I've
months,
already
maybe.
played more Urzikstan than I ever did Moz, so I can't really compare, but
Yeah.
it's probably, I would say, equal to or maybe a little better than Moz, but yeah, it's okay, to put it simply.
Yeah. Yeah. What about you, Tanner?
Yeah, I've started to like it more. I don't know if we've really talked about it much since we've kind of changed up where we were landing and stuff, but we've started avoiding places last time we played. Downtown, I mean, Old Town, Low Town, we don't ever land there, but you often have to just rotate into that area anyways, but not landing downtown, and if there is no circle ending there, the game is actually so much better. It really is a really bad area to fight. Way too many tall buildings, pretty miserable. But other areas of the map are like really fun, like over by Cargo, that whole area of the map with the hill above Cargo, really fun spot to fight. When the matches end west, good. Yeah. Some of those buildings are a little toxic, but I think they're like little apartment buildings where they're like all in a row and there are roofs on all of them, and they're, I think, probably 4-5 floors tall. Those can be a little toxic, but those are also very fun to fight in because how you can go between the buildings. You can basically climb up the side of them without a ladder. So areas like that are fun to fight in, but yeah, it's gotten a lot better since we started avoiding downtown. Moz, like, I think Moz was a pretty good map, but it's just the game sucked and was so slow that it's hard to even compare them because you just think of Warzone 2 when you think of Moz. So it's hard to compare the map for me. Because it would play a lot differently with this game, and if there were more balloons, things like that. So I'd
love to try it in this game.
Not really sure, but yeah, overall I think this map is I think it's pretty good. Definitely still just too many small buildings everywhere, though, in my opinion. There needs to be more open space.
Yeah. Yeah, I see what you're saying. And so it sounds like Tanner and Jake kind of made the same point, which I agree with, which is like, it really is hard to judge one map versus another in a vacuum. It's actually like impossible to do.
Yeah.
Because on the one hand, Jake is saying like, yeah, this map feels fine, but it's hard for me to evaluate because it just feels like I'm playing Resurgence. But that's not the fault of the map. It's the fault of the devs, which is true. So like, and that's fair. And then on the other hand, when you're talking about Al Mazrah, it's like, yeah, I mean, the map is fine, but it's hard to judge because I was playing Warzone 2. So it's like, again, hard to evaluate how that map might play independent of how bad Warzone 2 was. And I'm kind of in the same boat. Although I will say I feel less lukewarm about Urzikstan than Jake and Cope do. I think it's actually a pretty good map with a couple of bad POIs that are not good also. So like Zaravan City, Low Town, Old Town, trash, awful POIs. Pretty much everywhere else is like okay or good. Like Cargo is good, although as Matt Collins in YouTube chat just said, the cranes actually just ruined Cargo for me. That's kind of fair. Those cranes are super toxic.
The crane incidents for you, yeah. You've had a few
many crane incidents. But again, it's like, is the problem the map that has cranes on it? Or is the problem the game where I don't hear the guy landing on the crane next to me at any point until he's shooting his gun? Is it the cranes that I don't like? Or is it the game not giving me a singular audio cue when some guy I farmed engages his redeploy pack and spirals onto my head with an SVA fully auto with an extended mag and optic attachment, being rewarded for having gotten farmed. What's the problem there? Can we blame the crane? I mean, sort of, but you more have to blame the game outside of the map. So anyways, with all of that said, I do generally like Cargo. I love northwest of Cargo, that rolling hills area, like I'm in Scotland before you get to the Seaport Apartments. Great. So fun. So engaging. Huh? Those are the best. Yeah, shout out to England, I guess. We're still sponsored by Sports Social. Unified Ireland. That area is really, really, really fun to fight in. It's like my favorite area. And then pretty much, everything west of there and virtually everything north of there. I think these are like really actually good, fun areas. So I am less tepid about Urzikstan than our guests are. I think it's overall a good map with very bad POIs, particularly Old Town and Low Town. And I'm not exactly sure what's wrong with those POIs, but I never like fighting there, and I always hate it also. It's really bad. Especially that one buy station that we always hit when we land Trump, when we land with the kids. It's like north of a waterway. It's by...
Are you just talking about the one where you can jump off Trump Tower and land on it? Where it's right below like some water silos?
Like so many.
But there's one we always go to. Yeah, that's not Old Town or Low Town yet. That's on the opposite side of the river from those, I believe. But that's still part of like
area
downtown.
Sucks too. That area sucks too, to be clear. I don't like that area either. But anyways, beyond that, it's I think a good map. But anyway, what about the player count or the match length? What are your guys' thoughts on that?
Again, it's another thing that's super hard to judge because of how Resurgence like it is.
Yeah.
Yesterday I had a match where I died, went to the Gulag. I got the Go Again event in the Gulag, lost the first round, won the second round, got out, found a Gulag re-entry kit, died, went to the Gulag again, got out, found another Gulag re-entry kit. So I went to the Gulag 4 times, 4 rounds in the Gulag.
That's insane.
I died again. There's a jailbreak. I had like 7 lives in a match of Battle Royale. It's just insane to me. Like, I don't know. I wish, dude. It's a big conversation right now. A lot of people are feeling that way, but like, it really is starting to drive me nuts. How many times you can come back in a Battle Royale?
I swear you can die more on big map Battle Royale and not be squad wiped compared to dying that many times in Resurgence. If you died that many times in actual Resurgence, your squad would have gotten wiped at some point. But that's just not the case. Like it really does feel almost more like Resurgence at this point. Yeah, it's wild.
We've had it twice.
Go ahead.
Oh, we've had it twice in the last 2 days where we have had games where we have fought, and I mean it, for 10 minutes. Half of the effing game, we have fought the same 2 teams for 10 minutes straight.
And that's what...
It is insane.
That is what becomes boring, too, is because you're having the same gunfight with the same team 4 minutes. And even like 4 minutes, that's like 20% of the match practically now. It's like just fighting one team for 4 minutes takes up so much of the match. So it's, in
what's supposed to be a Battle Royale.
Yeah.
It's just so far away from, and that's again why I feel like the map, like, it just feels so random. Like in Verdansk, if someone was in a power position, like, that guy was there. There was one guy there. If you kill him, you know he's probably not super... Unless he wins his one Gulag or gets bought back, he's not going to go land back on there. Whereas on this map, you can kill a guy there, look around, fight another team for a second, and all of a sudden there's 3 guys up there because 3 of them came back.
Yeah.
And it's like... It just feels so much more random and less, like... people talk about like battle royale knowledge and like positioning and stuff like that. That is so much less like useful and practical in this game because it's so much more
True.
random. It's not like in
Yeah.
Verdansk, like I was saying, it was like if you're pushing into a spot, you're pushing into zone, you pop a UAV, you say, okay, there's guys over here, there's guys over here. We kind of know where if I'm coming from that way, this is the spot I would want to get to. If I'm coming from this way, that's the building I want to get to. So you kind of know where people are going to be. In this, it's just so like, it's so random. Oh, 3 guys came back from Gulag. Oh, 2 guys had a redeploy pack. Oh, some team behind you hit a balloon and then hit another balloon and got to a building in front of you. It's like, it's just so hard to predict and play in a smart way. It just feels so much more random.
Yeah,
just,
that's a
annoying.
great point. There's not much strategy that goes into it. Whereas like before, you could do things like do recons on Verdansk if you want to play that way. Get to this specific rooftop because there are 2 ways up, and that's the only 2 ways that somebody could possibly get up there. Get to that roof, hold it. You're probably going to win the game if you can get that far. But this game, it's like there is no strategy. Like even us, we play stupid and make pushes we wouldn't usually make because it doesn't matter. You're going to be able to come back some way. There's no strategy anymore. Nothing matters. You will always have a way to come back. So it's just become so much less skill based. Like it, don't get me wrong, it's still a fun game. Warzone right now is still very fun, in my opinion. But it's like it would seriously change my mind if they just took away Battle Royale from the name. That's all I want at this point. Just don't call it a Battle Royale because that's not at all what we're playing anymore. It's not even close to it.
Yeah.
Well, it's weird because it's like they're trying to do all this because they think casuals like Resurgence more, but if someone queues for Battle Royale, in my mind, they want that because they want to play that because it's because of that positioning and like, okay, I'm going to go here. There's people going to be rotating in from this direction and it's more predictable. But when they add all these redeploy mechanics and ways to come back and all this randomness, I think it just pushes those people away and they're like, I'm not playing that. There's just people landing on me all the time and I had no idea they were coming. So I think it's doing the opposite of what they actually think it's doing.
Yeah, you don't like full killing a guy on a roof, throwing a smoke, starting a res, and then he lands on you with a full auto gun 12 seconds later. You don't like that?
And reload. Yeah, I just wiped his team, but I
and then he has more
team.
plates and ammo and a better gun than you do. Yeah.
Or another team is pushing, popping UAVs, and you can't hear it because that's broken too. So then you're getting redeployed. You're getting redeployed, landed on by the guy you just killed, while another team from the other side is all ballooning onto you. Yeah,
it blows my mind that I haven't seen one single person talk about this, and it drives me nuts that there's no notification when someone pops a UAV near you. It blows my mind. I haven't seen one person say that.
There were a lot of people talking about that when Warzone first came out. I feel like that was the first hot discussion. Everyone was like, UAV, it just doesn't work. It doesn't even give you a noti. I think like J-God talked about it quite a bit. But yeah, I haven't heard anything about it for a while now. You're right. It was like the first few days.
It gets worse with time, but with me, apparently they're just like, oh, whatever.
Yeah, it's like people just get used to it, I guess.
It's crazy. Like the other day, we were playing with Lag. It was the last zone. There was 3 teams left. Lag was solo, and he was trying to like hide. And there's a team with a portable
he had
buy
100
above
plates
them.
in his backpack, and none of them were equipped.
Didn't plate up, probably. Yeah.
Classic Lag.
There's a team up above him on the buy station. All of a sudden, he hears a guy pushing to him, and he's just kind of trying to stay low and let the other 2 teams fight. The guy just peeks over and knows it, like pre-fires him as he's peeking over the ledge because he knew he was there. Almost certainly that team popped a UAV, but we have no idea that they did because you don't get a notification.
Yeah.
And we were talking about that. It seems like such a small thing. If I get enemy UAV notification on my screen, it instantly I become so much more aware and like assume people know where I'm at, and I duck down. I start making sure no one's pushing on my building. It changes a lot more than you would think.
It really does when you hear that.
People know where you are. But if you have if you just think, okay, I'm just gonna hide here, no one knows where I'm at, I'm just gonna lay low. Meanwhile, you're pinging up bright red on 4 guys' screen, and they're all gonna look down at you.
Yeah.
It's really starting to drive me nuts. And I mean, hopefully they fix that. That's a small thing they can fix, but like, man, it's crazy that they haven't yet.
Yeah. So do you guys even think like if they change nothing else, except for adding 20 more players or something, 30 more players, do you think the game would play better or worse than it does right now?
It's so hard to say.
Yeah, it's
because I feel
really
like
hard to
mid
say.
game is super slow unless you're just like basically get lucky and landed in a hot area.
Yeah.
And like I feel like 20 or 30 more people would kind of solve that a bit. But at the same time, if there's 30 more people and that means like I get 5 more kills a game, well that's 5 more effing times that I'm going to get redeployed on UAV popped I can't hear. So it's just like I don't really know. It probably won't change it that much. More people to shoot, but also die more. So like, not really much difference. I don't know.
Yeah.
It just adds to the RNG.
It just adds to that. They need to do a lot more fixes along with 20 or 30 more people, and then I think it would be great. But who knows if they'll ever do those things, which they probably won't. So
yeah, they probably won't.
They'd have to cut the spawn rate of like all the gulag tokens and flares by 50%, basically. I think if they did something like that, and even like remove the gulag second chance, which to be fair isn't super common, but still, it's just give somebody another chance to get back in the match. Yeah.
Even if they just took like between redeploy, gulag tokens, and flares, just take 2 of the 3 out. Now, obviously, they're not going to do it, but even if they took 2 of the 3, like keep flares in and take all the other stuff out, it would be so much more fun because then your life actually matters.
Yeah.
Like right now, when we play, as soon as we get loadout, Jake is on the other side of the map, lag's gone, I'm in the opposite direction, and we don't even play with each other until it's 4th zone. And then if we have a chance, we just get together and try and win. But like,
yeah, because it doesn't matter.
There's no strategy. Nothing matters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish like you said, they're Ted's rock hard about coming back 1,000 times in BR, so it's probably not going to change. He
loves it. Yeah.
He's just rock hard knowing I've died 50 times in a single match at BR. Battle Resurgence.
Yeah.
But like little things like if I kill someone who has a redeploy pack on them, the second I kill them, it should show like a little parachute icon or something. So I know that
I still can't believe that clip.
The second I killed him, he's already 100 feet above me, respawned with a fully auto gun. So at least I know, hey, you don't have time to plate up and reload. You got to start shooting that guy that you just killed again.
Yeah.
Because they have to do something, either that or make the parachute notifications, enemy incoming, super consistent, which has been a problem forever. So I don't have faith that they're going to be able to do that.
Right.
They have to figure out something to mitigate the fact that you have 40 ways to come back. It's like, I don't know. It's just so annoying when you kill a guy and even if you do get the enemy flying in above, he's already on the ground shooting at you. It's like, it's I don't know.
Yeah, it's just
really
less variety when you fight the same team the whole match, because you know how they're gonna. You basically get in your little habits. You are in your location. They are on their roof or wherever they keep dying and getting back to. And then it's just like, it's the same gunfight for minutes. I don't want that. I want variety. I want to fight different teams, different skill levels of players. And it just becomes repetitive feeling because of that. So I do still wonder if Ted's and like Raven they're acting this way because, oh, we want everyone to stay in the match and play a lot. If it's because Activision basically said, hey, you have to drop the player count. Our servers are exploding, right? We had 4 servers light on fire last week. You guys have to drop the player count. Or if it's just like actually they genuinely wanted that. Because the servers have been, I mean, starting in, I really don't think it was till Moz when they really started going downhill. I feel like I don't remember ever having server issues with 150 players in Warzone 1. Do you guys? Right?
No.
Nope.
No.
So how do we have less players? We have 33% less players in the match right now, and the servers are still somehow worse. Like, what happened between now and then?
And like they always said, like they didn't know Warzone was going to be as popular, so it's not like they planned for like their servers to be super stable, and like they didn't know 100 million people were going to be playing it. It's like,
yeah, it is weird.
I don't get how it just gets worse over time. Something like that. It's super interesting. Especially in this game, like the desync and like getting shot around corners is so much worse in this game than it ever has been in Warzone.
And it's not like they don't have the money to fix it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Because
know.
they do.
It's very weird.
Especially with the acquisition. Yeah. It's very weird.
Yeah, I'm still hopeful that maybe something with that. I highly doubt
Some
it.
kind of server migration.
Yeah, something.
I think that's actually possible. I don't think the Microsoft acquisition, and I've already talked about this before, but I don't think the Microsoft acquisition for the average player will change much, if really anything. But a couple things that could change would be, server performance. So if Microsoft wants to use whatever servers they've been using, I don't know if they have. Microsoft probably has their own servers. So if they wanted to migrate the Warzone servers to whatever Warzone uses now to the Microsoft ones, maybe they're better. So maybe you will get less desync or dying around corners, or you'll get, lower ping or a ping indicator that isn't fake. That says I have 3 milliseconds of ping. That's just not possible. Like physically, like physics, it's not possible. Maybe things like that could change. That's like one of the few things that an average player might notice with the acquisition. But anyways, let's move on to a couple of other little items here. I have 2 other topics I'd like to go over. First of all, you guys have obviously been doing very well. And I guess I'll also ask this. I probably should have said this at the outset. For those of you not familiar with you two. Cope, what is your current Warzone KD according to the video game? Now, to be clear, this will not be accurate statistics. The game doesn't track stats accurately. But it's a rough approximation. What is your KD in Warzone right now?
Well, I'm washed now, and I'm old. I think right now it's like a 195 or something. I don't really look because I don't care, and I don't want to look because it's bad.
Your stats are also different depending on where you look, yeah.
Lots of reasons. I mean, the first 2 weeks of the game, I was screaming, and Jake can attest that I'm washed and I'm bad, and I'm not good anymore. Not that I ever was. But yeah, I think it's right around a 2 right now.
Okay. And to be clear, by the way, a 2.0 KD, if that were in Warzone 1, we don't have percentiles anymore because they put their API behind a wall. But a 2.0 in Warzone 1 would have been 99th percentile, above that probably. So you would be better than. You wouldn't find a better player until you were in a room with about 100. So it's very, very good, to be clear. Because again, remember, you guys are talking to, let me be clear, thousands of people right now.
Billions,
thousands.
Maybe.
Your considerable audience.
A considerable audience, correct. That's exactly right. Jake, what about you? What is your KD in Warzone? I know you said your stats don't work, but...
Yeah, let me try it again.
Doing a little live
Jake's
check.
been going bonkers this year, yeah.
Let's see.
Magnificent.
Okay, it's not loading, but last time I checked, it was 4.5 exactly.
Good. So that is far beyond the 99th percentile. That is actually probably better than 1 out of 2,000 people. Maybe even more than that. So all of that is to say, to establish that these are people who perform better than most of you listening. Jake, probably all of you, and know what they're doing, which leads me to, the point of that was to establish credibility. With that said, do you guys have any strategies to help our considerable audience do better in Warzone? Whether that be raise their KD or get more kills or get more wins. Any strategies that are advanced or basic that you think might be implementable that are overlooked?
I think Cope should go first.
Just kill more people and die less.
So that's a
be
perfect
better at the game.
example. That's a perfect example of bad advice, right? So if I ask Huskers, hey, Huskers, you play on keyboard and mouse also. How do I get my KD to be like yours? And then Huskers is so talented that he would be like, I don't know, man, hit more shots. And that's not actionable advice because I try to hit all the shots I take, but I can't do it. I'm not as skilled. It's like, if you want to dunk a basketball, you should jump higher. It's like, okay, well, there are genetics and things like that. But a basketball player could tell me like, hey, you should, go baseline more because then it gives you a good outlet pass. That's advice like any basketball player could do. You don't have to be naturally talented to do that. So in terms of Warzone, there's bad advice, which Cope just gave us, which is kill more people, right? Or there's good advice, which is like, hey, don't reload after every single kill you get because you probably still have enough bullets in your magazine to get at least one more down. And if you're getting pushed and you don't know it, if you get stuck in this bad habit of reloading after every down when you don't need to, you're going to get punished for that by someone pushing you, and then you're stuck in a reloading animation like an asshole, and then you're going to die. That's advice, for example, anyone could employ. So if you guys have anything like that, that's what I'm asking for. Now, if you don't, that's fine. We can move on. But I was just curious if there was anything you guys thought you should share.
No, I think something in this game specifically that you could do is like, because it feels so random and that people are always going to come back and kill you. If you want to be like aggressive and get more kills, I think in this game you have to really think about putting yourself. Now, positioning is always important, but like in this game specifically, you have to really think about putting yourself in a position that is hard, like very defendable, or like don't just throw yourself, because people stack in this game. They do. It does seem like people hold hands more, and it's always three guys pushing your building together. It's like, so if you're gonna try and fly around and get a lot of kills,
run claymores is your advice.
No, but like if you're trying to fly around and get a lot of kills, don't just like land on the team's roof, because they can just, two guys can run out of each side, both look up at you, and you can only look at one of them. So it's like, you really want to like get in a spot where you can pick people off and not have them pick you off. It sounds pretty simple, but like
fight one at a time.
Flies right at the front door and tries to run up the stairs and kill all four of them every time.
Come on, Cope.
I don't know. Just runs his head into the wall and tries to kill all four of them, which sometimes he does. You know, he can do it, but like it's so much less likely in this game.
It's a low percentage play. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, we'll pop a UAV, I'll land on a team, I'll put myself above them, because there's a million buildings, there's always one taller. Land on a taller building. In this game, I feel like I bait people out a lot more. If I land on a team and they don't know I'm there, I'll just start shooting away. So one guy looks out the window, I'll down him, move to a different roof, try and either get the finish on that guy, or they're going to start getting shifty and like either start to move or try and get above me, get on their roof. You want to really like
isolate,
be part of the randomness and be unpredictable, and like, but keep yourself in a good spot. It just sounds super easy, but like, don't just run right at people and just run on the ground in the low area, the low ground, and just let them shoot you out of the windows. It's like, put yourself in a good spot where you can pick one off, move, pick another one off, move, and then once you get down to like two people or one, start pushing in.
Don't peek the same angle. Yeah.
And like, I don't know, that sounds kind of basic, but like in this game I feel like that's way more important. Whereas in Verdansk, people were like in the same area but not in the same house, so you can kind of just like push one guy, kill him, it was one of his teammates is pushing over to help you, or to help him, You can pick him off and then just kind of work through it. Whereas in this, it's like everyone's in the same building, so you can't just run at it. They're gonna gun you easy.
Yeah.
Like Absolute said, leave yourself an escape route. Yes, that's kind of what I'm getting at. If you get in a bad spot, you need to be able to get out.
Yeah.
Which is if you're on the ground and you just have to run in their line of sight no matter what, then you're just screwed. Now smokes help. Obviously, use smokes, but leave yourself an escape route. That's actually a really good way to put it.
Okay.
I would say, like what kind of like going on what Jake was saying. If you were just comparing like me and Jake, the way he plays versus how I play, which obviously, like he just said, he is so patient when he's playing. Like and lag too. Lag is more patient than Jake. But like I just don't have it in me. I'm not disciplined enough. I can't sit there on a roof like these guys do and like jump here and get an angle. I just don't have it. Some days I do. Some days I don't.
Yeah.
Jake will spend 5 minutes picking a team apart, and it's great. I just don't have that.
Yeah,
but if you're trying to get better, I would, and that's the question, right? If you're trying to improve,
right?
Be more patient. Don't be like me. Don't run at a team like I do. Jake yells at me all the time, and sometimes it works. Sometimes I won't do it, and I'll play.
I'll have to tell him, Cope, just wait a second. Let me get to you so I can at least, if you need to run back out of the building because there's 4 guys in there, I can at least cover the door while they chase you. All 4 of them chase you.
And when I do,
so I've been telling them that a lot in this game.
Usually
like, just wait a second. I'll be there in 5 seconds. Let me help you. And a lot of the times it does work.
Yeah. But yeah, just specifically, if you're trying to get better, just be more patient is really a big thing. If you can get a knock or 2 and then push, I mean, it's just a whole different ball game that you're running into.
And then you're catching people rezzing or wanting to res, and they're like, should I do it? Should I not? And you put them in the very awkward position of their friends screaming at them over prox chat into their Xbox One microphones. Bro, res me, I'm safe, I'm behind the wall. So then they're feeling this peer pressure, like, should I res or should I not? I probably shouldn't because they're probably going to push off of this, but whatever. I'm going to go for it. And then you go in. Yeah, it's a lot better pushing in off of a down, obviously.
Yeah. It's hard being patient like that, especially in this current game right now, how it is. Certain games, it's easy to be patient. This one, it's like, that's actually hard to do, honestly. It sounds so easy. It's like, just don't push as often, but it's so hard. It's so tempting. A game like PUBG that's so slow, that comes natural. But for Warzone, where it's like, it can be so fast-paced, it's difficult to have patience. Yeah, it's difficult to have patience. I don't like doing it.
Yeah.
Well, you can push. It's just like, do it in an unpredictable way.
Yeah.
Don't just run right in the front door and right up the stairs, right to where all 4 of them are looking. There's so many buildings and windows and ways to get in there. Like yesterday, we were fighting a team in this building. I picked 2 off. I think Cope killed the 3rd one. He's like, there's 1 more in there. I went around to the backside, jumped up. The guy's just staring at the staircase, and I just jump in the window behind him and spray him down.
Yeah.
It's like, you can be aggressive. Just try and do it not so predictable, where that any person, some guy who just picked up the game and is playing it for the first time is just going to watch that angle.
Yeah, just like, I'm going to watch the stairs, obviously. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like, oh, this is the way into this building. He's probably going to come here. Let me watch this. Try not to go to those places as much as you can.
Yeah.
That's actually good advice. Like you said, you kind of hedged what you were saying with like, I know this sounds obvious, but it actually isn't, and it actually kind of is good advice. Be as unpredictable as you can and like take the weird route or go into the weird window sill or whatever. Particularly good advice in this game where you can do that. You can use the new movement mechanics and your commando gloves and your climbing boots and your rappel and your red rebel to climb in all kinds of crazy ways and navigate around buildings in ways that maybe you don't think are even possible because you haven't tried it. But like, yeah, if someone's in like a 2-story building or whatever, you can get into that building. You might be able to do it from up top, in one of those like stupid glass roofs that are in this game sometimes. You could do it from a window up top that is behind the staircase that they're all looking at and camping. Or you can go through the stairs like an idiot and you'll just get ripped, like you said. I think there is something to be said about that. And also always moving. That's, or always peeking a different angle. This is true in like every FPS game. If I'm, if I'm outside on a wall and I know a team is in this building and there's like a window there. Let's say he's looking out of the window and he's not looking at me. And I like come around the wall and I start blasting him and I crack his plates and then he takes cover. I need to not be here the next time he peeks because this is obviously the first place he's going to look. Now I'm lazy, so oftentimes I won't do that. And then he'll just re-peek and I'm just dead, or he cracks me, but I'm getting nowhere. As soon as you give away your position, if possible, you should move to a different angle and peek something else so that when they reappear or when they go to move, they don't know where you are. Because the only place they're going to look is where they last saw you. That's the only intel they have. So you should never be re-peeking the same angle, and that will help you get little picks. And like you were saying as well, Jake, this is harder advice for sure. But if you do think that people are stacking more in this game, or like everyone's holding hands, they're all in the same room all the time or in the same building, you're not going to just kill all 4 of them unless they revert the nerfs to the KV broadside shotgun, which is not happening. So you can't just go in there and start blasting. You can if all 4 of you do it, but this is still dumb to do because they're going to get first shots on. They don't have to move. What you want to do, like you said, is just get a bunch of ISOs. Like, okay, there's 4 people in this room, or there's 4 people. Yeah, there's 4 people in this like room on the 3rd floor. I'm going to try and isolate one so that I can get a down. And then he's either going to have to get rezzed or he's going to bleed out or whatever. And that's going to make this way easier going forward. And then I'm going to move to a different angle, get another ISO, get another down. And then you can push, like you said. That is really good advice, but in that case, it's just hard to tell people how to do that. Like, how do you create ISOs on 4 people holding hands in a building? It actually always just depends. Like, there's no more advice I can give unless you give me a particular scenario. Where are they? Where are you? Where are your teammates? How close together are they? What guns are they using? Like, it's really, really hard to give advice on that. But it is good advice that, in general, you should try to create ISOs when people are like holding hands a lot.
Yeah.
And when you watch good players play, they can do it pretty reliably. Sometimes they're giga rats and they're literally prone with like prox mines on the stairs. And those people, listen, that's Tower and Air Wing Marine, and they are holding it down, and they are 50 years old. They're a little buzzed. They don't want to move. They're scared. You're not going to create ISOs there. But most of the time, even if they are holding hands and camping a room, you actually can isolate people. And you don't even have to get them out of the building necessarily, but you can anticipate that some guy's going to peek a window, for example.
Yep, exactly.
And you're ready for that. You're pre-aimed on it already on a new angle from the one you were last at. You get a quick down, boom. Now I'm throwing lethals in there. Maybe I get the full. I create chaos. I sow discontent in their ranks. Maybe my teammate has finally respawned from his gulag 4th try. He's going to land on the opposite roof. And that's why I'm saying it's hard to give general advice, because it always just depends on the circumstances. But you can do these things. You can make ISOs, and it is good advice. Yeah. It's just the implementation is hard. Practice. Yeah.
I have another question about
in this. One more thing, like in this game specifically, it feels like you're always fighting like multiple teams, because people are always landing back in or ballooning over or fighting. So like, try and really be conscious of who you're fighting and what team you need to be fighting. Because if you're on the roof of a building that doesn't have a ladder like up it or a staircase, the only way is like outside ladders or zips, and there's another team like pushing into you. In my opinion, you should focus. Now, it's obviously depends on the scenario and whatnot, but like, know who's more of a threat to you at all times. So, like, if you're visible to 4 guys over here, you need to be fighting them while still listening and waiting for cues for the team below you to see what they're doing. So, really, like, again, it's kind of
prioritize.
It's hard to kind of be specific with it, but really focus on who you're fighting and who's the bigger threat. Especially like if you're rotating in, like if you're trying to get
That's exactly what I was going to say. Yeah.
You can get caught up fighting another team that's outside of the zone. That doesn't really matter. They're not a big threat to you. The team on the roof in the zone that's holding you is the team you need to be focusing.
Yes.
Because then you can kill them, take the roof, and kill the other team. So while you think it's easy to kill, yeah, like I do it too. We all do it. It's like, those are the easy kills, so you want to get those, but these are the guys you need to kill because they're going to kill you. They're the bigger threat.
Right.
So that, in this game, with how fast it is and how quickly people can take roofs and whatnot, you have to always be conscious of who you're fighting and who's the bigger threat.
Yeah, I have a question kind of with strategy, too. Are both of you still running the flex perk?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You guys think it's just the best to run for that slot?
Because ever since I learned High Alert only works to 100 meters, I can hear people at 100 meters. And that's not an exaggeration. I've pinged people that I've heard, and I can hear, not everybody all the time, obviously, but a lot of times I can hear people from that far away, and I'm not exaggerating. Because I ping a building, and I say, there's guys in there, and it's 98 meters away.
That's insane if that's true.
Dude, I can't play without it.
You're not exaggerating?
No, I've literally pinged it. I know I was playing with you because I said, yeah, there's no freaking way I'm running High Alert, because I pinged a team I could hear. I said, there's guys in here, and it was like 98 meters.
I'm not kidding. Do me a favor. The next time that happens, clip it and tag me.
You're also, are you still running sonar as well?
Yeah, I've been running FPS footsteps in sonar.
FPS, okay. If you guys don't know, there's a app you can download on your PC, console players, sorry. It's called SteelSeries Sonar, I believe. It's SteelSeries application, right?
Yeah, it's free. You don't have to have a SteelSeries headset. It works with any headset. It's just a super easy to use, user-friendly EQ. It has a bunch of equalizer presets that you can just pick, and you don't have to mess with it.
Yeah,
it adds a virtual audio device, and then you tell the game to use that as your audio output. And then it's
I don't think that's how this works. Doesn't this just change all of your sounds? I don't think you change the device through it, right?
SteelSeries, from what I remember,
in the game, you do have to pick like SteelSeries gaming.
Okay, all right.
Yes, yeah. So it creates like a virtual audio device channel, and then you use that, and the program has that channel with a bunch of crazy settings like FPS footsteps, where it does its own curve for like frequencies and whatever, blah blah blah. Yeah. That's why I don't use it, because GoXLR, I already have a bunch of channels. It's annoying.
Yeah,
and I do a podcast.
I don't blame you for not screwing with your audio.
Yeah. But yeah, if you're on PC, you could do that. You could go to Jake's favorite Twitter account, actually, Art is War, and do his audio pro tune. I think he uses SteelSeries. If you have about 4 hours to spare, you can go watch his audio guide on Warzone, and you can even, in fact, watch a highlight reel of Art of War, hearing people from miles away before they push him and he gets destroyed by them.
Chat, clip that.
The incident.
It's a huge flex to be able to hear people before they just gun you down. So much of a flex that you actually clip this and are proud of it when you post it on Twitter. I find that funnier every time I think about it. But anyways, yeah, that's a side note though. But the flex perk is, for those of you maybe not familiar, is in perk slot 4 in Warzone. Most of you are probably running high alert in this slot, so you'd have to give up high alert to take it. But it's like the bone conduction headset in MW3 multiplayer, basically, where it reduces combat noise. So your own footsteps get quieter, gunshots get like quieter. Your own gunshots certainly get quieter. I don't know about how other gunshots work. I haven't used it that much. And ostensibly, enemy footsteps become easier to hear, whether they are louder or you hear them from farther, or they're only easier to hear because you've cut down on all the other noise. I don't know. But according to Jake and Cope, it does in fact help register footstep sounds that they otherwise would not hear.
Yeah, I think Cope got old overnight or something, because as of like 2 weeks ago, he apparently can't hear anything. Even though before that, he was hearing just as well as I could, and then...
Cope, you're running Ghost. That's why. You have the wrong perk selector, man.
No.
Cope.
I don't know what it's been, but yeah, the last like week or two, I haven't heard a thing.
Because you can go back and watch every roundtable I've been on, and half the thing is me yelling about the audio and how I've never heard someone once. In this game, I very, very rarely get ran up on and don't know the guy's coming.
Even when you post your clips, people say that. They're like, how's the footstep audio so clear? And it's funny too, because your balance of audio sounds way better than those audio tunes, because those also make other things way too loud. Yours sounds the same from the clips, other than footstep audio is very clear and loud, and it doesn't make anything else sound weird and awful.
Yeah, issue's been a big issue. Audio's been a big issue for me a long time in Warzone. It's been pretty good for me the past month since Warzone 3 came out.
Yeah. Okay.
Running flex, the sonar thing. Like, it's so nice when you don't have any perks, and then all of a sudden you get your loadout and everything becomes quiet. Oh, it's so nice.
Yeah.
See, that's what throws me off when I use it. I feel like then I have to turn my audio up because everything else is is too quiet. It sounds weird almost. Like it makes me think I'm going to miss hearing things that I would otherwise hear because the audio gets lower. That's what was like jarring to me, is going from everything loud to everything then seemingly quiet. But I haven't tried it in a while.
The other day there was I should have clipped it. I was the last one alive. I was fighting this sweaty team who we've been fighting the whole game.
18 minutes.
It was like fifth. Yeah, it was like fifth zone. I was the last one left. It was like way up in somewhere like by farms or something like that. And I was on the roof fighting them. I killed one. I could hear the other guy running around the backside of the building and climbing up the ladder from like 45 meters away.
Oh. Jesus.
And Cope and Lag, normally spectating audio is way better. You can hear things better. They didn't hear him. And I was just sitting there aiming at the top of the ladder because I could hear him every rung, clear as day. Knew exactly where he was coming. And they're like, wow, what a pre-fire that was. And I was like, what do you mean? I could hear that guy clear as day. Like, no doubt in my mind exactly. Like, I could tell you the pixel that guy's standing on. And they're like, what? You heard that guy? I was like, yeah, like, no problem whatsoever. Like, just clear.
It looked so sus.
And it was pretty, like, far away. It wasn't like I was right on the ladder. It was like,
it was probably 50 meters.
Yeah.
Probably
like,
50
I could hear him running along the whole backside of the building. I could tell exactly when he got on the ladder and every rung as he climbed up. And I just
does it
pre-fired him.
Does it help with parachute audio, or is that still non-existent?
Not really. Not super. I mean, I hear it at the last second as he cuts it and he's already shooting me, but
yeah.
Ladders, it does seem like it helps. I feel like I can hear people on ladders crazy good. Zip lines, I feel like
if you tell me you hear zips, I'm ending the podcast.
Zip lines are hit or miss. Sometimes you do hear zips, and then other times you'll be like right next to it and you hear nothing.
It's not as bad as parachutes.
Like
parachutes, it seems like most of the time you don't. Zip lines is like 50-50.
Yeah, like there have been times where we're on a roof and I hear the zip on the other side of the roof. So it'll be like 25 meters. I'm like, there's a guy zipping up. Like, how do I hear that?
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm not kidding. You'll be like on the zip looking around and there will be not a single audio cue. And then the person will be up there with you.
Yeah.
Interesting. So yeah, there we go. If you're on console, try Flex, see if that helps with your audio better. If you're having footstep audio issues, and if you're on PC, try Steel Series Sonar combined with that.
Dude, I grabbed someone's perk package yesterday. I just couldn't find mine or whatever. I grabbed one with high alert, and I just haven't been running it. It makes me so scared.
Does it?
Like I'll be running and it's just orange behind me. Like I just feel like I'm gonna die at every second, so I like almost play erratically.
Yeah.
Whereas with Flex, I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'm just gonna keep running this way. If someone starts shooting at me, then I'll become erratic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean about high alert. That's the problem with it, especially on
It makes me so like anxious that I'm gonna die.
Yeah. So some advice if you are going to be switching to Flex. This happened to me. I was running high alert, and then Jake was like, "Dude, you gotta try Flex." So I said, "Fine." So I put on Flex instead, and I didn't have high alert anymore, but I wasn't like really thinking about it. And then I was on a rooftop close to a zip line, and I'm getting downs, I'm killing people, I'm just blasting, I'm barking on the roof, not a care in the world. And I was in the habit of doing this because I was used to running high alert. So like if someone was going to come onto my roof, I would know that because I had high alert. But I didn't anymore. I had Flex. So I thought my back was totally safe because I had no high alert ping. But of course I didn't have a high alert ping. I didn't have the high alert perk. So someone ziplined up to my roof, no audio, and Flex did not help with that. I am also 31 years old, but I don't think ziplines make enough audio. I don't think that's a controversial statement to make. And I would have known before he was even able to shoot his gun that he was up there, because he would have still been doing his animation to disengage from the zipline, and I would have been getting high alert noties by then. But because I was running Flex, he just killed me for free, like super free. So if you're going to run Flex, remember that you don't have high alert anymore, and you still need to be careful because there are positions you can put yourself in where you cannot you cannot rely on audio cues. So like if you go to a rooftop by a zip line, Flex or not, you're not going to hear the zip line reliably. So you need to be careful of that and don't just turn your back to it. Like you can get away with doing with high alert. Put yourself in a position, just be aware of that, or, go somewhere else, reposition in some way. But I literally died because I switched perks, and it wasn't even because like Flex is bad or anything. It's because I was used to playing in one way when I had high alert, I got punished for it. All right, so last little topic I want to get into, ranked play. Will you guys be playing Ranked Warzone? How do you think it will go? How do you think Ranked Warzone would play in the current paradigm? Let's assume it would be 3 trios again.
One more thing I want to say on perks. You have to run quick fix. Fuck tempered. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care how many good people run it. Quick fix is so much better. You played up, your health instantly starts regenerating. You're in a gunfight. You're back to full health 5 seconds before you would be with tempered. Now I get you feel like you have a lot of health when you have those 2 plates and you're quick replated, but look at your health. You're still one shot. You're still you still have 30 HP.
And some damage does penetrate plates, yeah.
And I've been watching a lot more Warzone the past few days. It's crazy. They're in the middle of a gunfight, and it's like, sure, they're replated, but their health is still so low for so long.
Yeah, it's pretty slow.
And I know for a fact it would be full health seconds ago with quick fix. And it seems like it's like people asking, is it actually working now? It works most of the time. It works all the time with plating, it works most of the time with downing and finishing people. Now they still have to fix it and make it 100% of the time, but you get to full health way quicker than you would with tempered 95% of the time.
I
Especially
will
with the
add,
plating thing.
yeah,
That works
by the
every
way,
time.
I will add that I went from tempered to quick fix a couple weeks ago after you had been talking about it. And it's reliable enough to be worth it. And it'll be fixed, which is going to make it even better. So like definitely run quick fix once they make it 100% consistent. Probably. But also, again, you can find tempered vests. So, 1 out of every 5 games, I'll have tempered and quick fix, which isn't possible if you're running tempered the perk because there's no quick fix vest. So that's like one big benefit. But also, the main point I'm making here is that I did not miss tempered nearly as much as I expected to. It's actually not that big of a deal not having tempered.
Mm-mm.
One of the benefits of tempered is you chew through fewer plates. Okay. Well, that super does not matter in Warzone right now. There are 100 billion plates and armor boxes always.
Yeah, boxes are so
You will
common.
never. So the benefit of tempered saving your plates doesn't matter at all in this game. You always have enough plates. So already tempered got worse. The timing thing, I don't know. I feel like I've sniped and I've also not sniped. In fact, most of my playtime is probably not sniping. It's just using a AR and SMG, playing like an average player. And I very seldom, if ever, feel like I die in some position where if I had tempered instead of quick fix, I would have lived. I can't recall a single time that's happened, actually. So I miss tempered a lot less than I expected to. It's not as important, especially in Urzikstan, as you might think.
Yeah.
It's nice to be able to re-peak more quickly sometimes, but is it ever saving your life in such a way that not having tempered would have caused you to die? I literally don't think that's happened to me once. So I am on team quick fix as well, particularly once they make it function as intended 100% of the time. Yeah.
Because so many times I'll be fighting someone, they'll get me one shot. I'll put 2 plates in, I won't even put the 3rd plate in. My health will start regenning. I'll be at 250 health, and I'll just rechow them. Well, even if they have temper, they'll be at like 200, if that.
Yeah.
Because they'll have 2 plates, 75 each, so they'll have 150.
Yeah.
And then whatever health they have left for 7 seconds, and that's if I don't start shooting them again. And then they have to wait another 7 seconds.
Yeah.
Which feels like an eternity when you don't have quick fix.
True.
Like early game playing without it, God, do I hate it. It just I'm sitting there looking at my health bar, and it feels like it's never gonna start regenning. It's crazy.
Bro is standing, man. Yeah. I know.
And especially like if you're fighting on gas too, like on the edge of gas, and you're like playing on rocks or something, and you have to jump into the gas and come out. Put a plate in, your health starts regenerating immediately. Like,
or
I don't know.
Here's another thing. Yeah, like you said, even if you're not fighting, if you're like getting held, but they're not like landing their shots or whatever, if you're coming into zone from gas, you like the gas might get you super weak, and then you fully played up and you're still like one shot for a while. So if someone's holding you, that's like really dangerous.
Yeah. True.
But if you do have quick fix and you're coming out of gas, you're going to have to plate because the gas is damaging your plates and your player health simultaneously. As soon as you get out of gas, you do a plate. And as soon as you're fully plated, you're full health before you're fully plated, actually. Which is way sooner than if you were using tempered, because you'd be fully plated sooner with tempered, but you wouldn't be 300 health sooner. You'd be 300 health. I'm not kidding. 5 seconds, 5 Mississippis later, which in FPS terms is a very long time, like you said. And that's 5 more seconds where a team that might be holding you could start getting shots on and get it down, and it could make the difference. Yeah, I agree with you. I'm totally on team quick fix. Especially
and all that time
game.
adds up where like that 5 seconds, that's every time you get damaged. Whereas with quick fix, I put in 1 plate, within 2.5 seconds I'm full health. That time that you're not full health adds up over the course of a game to be like so much longer where you're at a disadvantage over the course of a match. And
Yeah.
Right.
it honestly is crazy to me that more people aren't running it. I mean, obviously it is bugged, but it's worth it 100% to me. It works the vast majority of the time like it's supposed to.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, good comms on that. All right. So anyway, back to the ranked question. Will you guys be playing Ranked Warzone, and how do you think Ranked will play in Warzone post integration?
I don't know.
Because it will play a lot different than any version of Ranked Warzone we've ever seen, which is to say, the only other version we've had, Warzone 2 Ranked. That played away, and it was way more fun than Pub's Warzone 2. Will the same hold for Warzone now? Will Ranked be a lot more fun than Pub's? Will it be more fun but not to the same degree? Will it be less fun? What are our thoughts on that?
I don't know. It's really, I think it comes down to what they do with all the ways to come back.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of the big question mark.
Yeah. So if it's like Warzone 2, what they will do is remove redeploy packs and Gulag reentry tokens, but they will not remove flares.
And they'll quadruple the spawn rate of them, yeah.
That might happen as well. Yeah. So that's what I would expect Ranked to be, the rule set.
Yeah.
Because that's what it was in Warzone 2.
I mean, I'll definitely play it for a while. I'll grind it and see how it goes. But if it becomes like Warzone 2 where everyone's just sitting on a building and on top of each other because you had to get your taps to get the maximum amount of points, like, I don't know, that just wasn't super fun to me and didn't seem worth it to play ranked just to get a thing by your name, having to be on your teammates' hips and arbitrarily do stupid stuff that you have to shoot the guy who's down to get
little
extra
tippy taps.
points.
I mean, it's like, we could play ranked and you get all of the kills and I just simply put one bullet into some guy downed and we're getting the same SR. It doesn't make any sense. But like, we thought about it a lot last year. I'm like, I don't know what other system they could do where it still makes you play as a team, because ranked should be like based on how good your team is performing, but not have that system, because then it's going to be between you and your teammates fighting over who gets a kill in a full, which then leads to it being more toxic, actually. So I was like, I don't even know what they do, but I do think they'll end up changing the scoring system up so you don't have to tap people like that, because it didn't make any sense. It was a dumb system.
Yeah,
I agree.
Ranked would be, I think, pretty fun without, all the gulag BS and no taps. I think it could have potential to be a lot of fun, and like Jake said, we'll probably play it and see how it plays, but it really just depends what direction they go with it and what changes they make, I would say. Because like, if it's obviously going to be super sweaty, and that's fine. I don't have a problem playing against people that are better than me or the same skill, but all the other dumb stuff, like if it's the same across ranked and unranked, you might as well just play unranked. But it really just depends, right?
Yeah, if it makes it feel more like a regular BR where people don't just feel like they can just land on you because they're going to come back 14 times. Yeah. And it's more like that, what I've been talking about, like kind of predictable, like, okay, we're going to rotate here, we're going to hold these guys. Like, if it becomes more like that, I think it could be fun because it will be more like a BR and not just, okay, you guys over there, stay by the bike, get ready to buy me back. I'm going to try and land on this team with a SVA and kill them all.
Yeah.
If that doesn't happen as much as in ranked, it might make it worth it to play.
Yeah, I'm in that camp. I'm very excited and optimistic about ranked in this game because I think what they will do is remove the redeploy packs, remove the gulag entry kit things, and have like flares only, which is still going to be a problem, to be clear, like they were in Warzone 2. But it'll feel more like a BR. And independently of all that, if they changed nothing, ranked would be fun just to have something to play for and to actually care about my life and winning more. I care about winning already in pubs, but like we talked about when ranked very first came out, just having something, a reason to like want to win and play your life makes the game more fun already. And that is for a game that wasn't fun, Warzone 2.
Right.
Having that incentive in a fun game like Warzone now, I'm incredibly excited. And frankly, I'm kind of surprised at how not excited you guys are. Maybe the reason for that is because you're already having a lot of fun, so you don't really care about it getting more fun. I am not in that camp, though. I have very, very high hopes for, and I'm very, very excited for Warzone Ranked. And I will be pushing Iridescent minimum.
Well,
so keep that in mind as well.
Platinum, maybe. I just wish it's also very hard to get excited for it when we have no idea when it's coming. Like, we may not even get ranked until like season 3 or something. It's a little ridiculous that they haven't given us anything. They just said it's coming at some point. And it's going to suck when it comes out so late. Which, like, season 3 for Warzone, which is like, it's Warzone, but it's still essentially a 1-year life cycle, because then next year they're going to do the same thing. Again, ranked won't be out on launch. It doesn't give you much time to play it. It's a little disappointing.
Yeah, I don't get what takes so long. Like, now that they've got it,
I don't get it
like
either.
they did it last year. It's basically the same game. You can just slide a little more. Like, literally, what is like? I don't get what takes so long.
From the ranked team, yeah, you're right. Yeah,
it's got to. That's what I'm saying. They must totally be changing like the SR system or something, and they probably wanted to see how this game played first to kind of base it off that. I guess maybe they're still considering playing or changing player counts too, so they didn't want to. They wanted to settle on a player count, whether it be 100, 120, something like that before they do it. I don't know, but yeah, it does suck. We get it pretty late into the game's life cycle.
Yeah,
that's just classic Call of Duty, doing everything too late.
Yeah. Although, to be fair, we will still be on the same Warzone when the next multiplayer game launches. So I think we'll still have plenty of life in Warzone's life cycle. For if ranked comes out soon, then it'll be enough time, I think.
Yeah.
Unlike for Warzone 2.
Well, this is still the same Warzone, technically. It'll be the same thing next year. This is still the same game.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
So that's what's weird.
You know what?
That's what doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I guess you're kind of right.
That's what I'm saying. The same thing's going to happen next year.
Yeah. So we'll see. But anyway, that's pretty much it for me. Tanner, you have anything else you want to bring to the table?
No. I don't think so.
That's it. All right. Well, we're done. Cope and Jake, thank you very much, young men, for joining us this afternoon. We hope you had
Old
fun.
Man and young man, yeah.
If you'd like to say anything or shout out your Twitter or your Twitch or whatever, where can people find you? We'll start in reverse order now. Jake.
YouTube, Jake Down. I'll be streaming on and off somewhat if the game is fun, which it sort of is right now. So I'll stream a little bit here and there. Jake Down, YouTube. That's it.
There you go. Cope, what about you?
Yeah, just Cope Cowboy on Twitch. Pretty much the same thing.
Cope the Cum Cowboy, actually.
Well, it's not that.
Cope the Cum Cowboy.
And Raz
his name change is pending. Yes.
Yeah. The most important part.
All right. Well, that's it, boys and girls. Show them some love. Go follow their stuff. They're fun to watch. You can get some more insight into what they've been talking about by watching them play. Thank you all for watching and listening. We'll be back next week. Hopefully some of that weapon balancing that at COD Updates was yapping about on Twitter actually come through before next Thursday. We hope you enjoyed this ambush roundtable, and stay humble.
Stay humble.